So know your rights. If ICE comes to your workplace, if ICE comes to your door, you do not have to open the door. You ask them for a judicial warrant, not an administrative warrant. ICE very often tries to show you some official looking paper in order to intimidate people and to let them in. Again, remember, they rely on the perception of power. No. You don't just get some paper and let them in. You look for a judicial warrant. You look for a judge's signature on that piece of paper. If there is not a judge's signature on that piece of paper, you do not have to open the door. Number two, you can ask them to leave. If they do not procure a warrant, you can ask them to leave. You can stay silent. If they have detained you, you can say, I would like to remain silent. You invoke your right. You do not have to share personal information. They want to know what your immigration status is. Even if you're a US citizen, if they want to ask you, are you a US citizen? You tell them, I don't have to answer that question. You tell them, I do not have to answer that question. You do not have to. They ask you where you were born. I don't have to answer that question. They ask for your immigration status. I do not have to answer your question. They do not, unless you are being officially detained, if they have a judicial warrant. And by the way, you do not have to sign anything. And if they want to keep asking you questions, you say, I would like to speak to my attorney. In New York and California, you have a right to an attorney, including if you are undocumented or anything. You would say, I would like an attorney. Or if you are outside of the states of New York or California, you can say, I would like to speak to an attorney. And you can get your own attorney. Or you can procure your own attorney. So you say, I want to talk to a lawyer. Know your rights. How do you do that? Two things. You can go to my Rep AOC account if you want, and there's a slide with Know Your Rights. If you want to go grassroots style, you can use mine. They're ACLU, a bunch of people have them. Print them out, hand them out to people. Or if you sign, again, this is like not a plug. You can Google this in lots of places, but one thing that we're presently working on is that if you're on my newsletter or if you sign on to my newsletter, we are working on printable PDFs that we're going to soon email out to our whole newsletter list so that you can print it out. You can tape it up in storefronts. You can drop palm cards in small businesses. If you are local to New York City, we are going to be having kind of volunteer events where we're going to go bodega by bodega, drop in palm cards so that people can know their rights. And the slower they go, the less they can break, okay? That's one example. Number two, in some of these federal purges, with what they're trying to do, they want to send you a little letter saying, oh, we're going to offer you a buyout. Don't take it. Don't take it. Don't take the buyout. You have about 3 days, like all those federal workers that got that got those notices. And of course, these decisions are personal. The decisions are ultimately up to you. But my opinion is that this is a bunch of BS. And what they want everyone to do is to comply in advance. Do not comply in advance. Make them make you. Make them make you. And make them, if they're committing crimes, make them make you. Because we are going to win. I want you to understand right now, we're going to go through an ugly, ugly period. But move in the faith that we are going to win.